Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pam's Passions. I created this page to share with you some of the things I enjoy: makeup, cooking, real talk. I welcome your feedback and I'm open to your suggestions for future videos. If you have any color combinations you'd like to see, a meal you're interested in watching me prepare, let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. You can reach me at therealpamspassions@gmail.com. That's the REAL Pams PAMSPASSIONS@gmail.com. All right, now let's get started. Hello everyone, welcome back to Pam's Passions. Today's meal is going to be a brunch. We're going to make French toast muffin cups and a frittata, but we're going to make mini versions of the frittata. And for our drink, we're going to have a bourbon spritzer. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to prepare is our French toast. And to do that, we're going to make our custard. In my bowl, I have 5 eggs. And to that, we're going to add 1.5 cups of milk, 2 teaspoons of granulated sugar, also known as white sugar, and a teaspoon of cinnamon, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And we're going to whisk it all together. I don't know about you guys, but I love breakfast. I can eat breakfast for lunch, and breakfast for dinner. So we have that nice and whisked together, and we're going to toss our bread into it. The bread that I decided to use today is challah bread. You can use brioche, white bread, whatever you choose, but I like the challah bread because it's nice and dense and it'll absorb the custard so you can taste all the flavors when you go to eat your French toast. So I have 6 cups of cubed challah bread, and we're going to toss that into our custard. And we just want to give it a nice stir to make sure that all of the bread gets coated. Now you can also prepare this recipe as a casserole, and to do so you would let the bread soak in this custard overnight and then put it in a dish and bake it. You can also use the same custard if you just want to make French toast by using slices of bread. Cinnamon raisin bread is a good bread for French toast, but I like the challah bread because you get a loaf and you can slice it to your desired thickness. Okay, now that we have that all mixed up, we're going to get our muffin tin. So today we're using an oversized muffin tin. So we're going to have 6 cups. And we're going to spray each cup with a little bit of vegetable oil. And this will keep your product from sticking to the pan. So this recipe called for enough ingredients for 12 regular size muffins. So since we're using the oversized tin, we're going to make 6. And we're going to distribute the custard and bread evenly in between the cups. Okay, now it's time for us to prepare our streusel topping. Make sure you hit that subscribe button in the right hand corner of the screen. So to make the streusel topping, we have a 1/4 cup of unsalted butter that I diced up. And to that, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of light brown sugar, a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, and 1/8 teaspoon of cinnamon. And I'm going to pulse this until we have our topping. So we have our streusel topping all ready to go. So we're going to top our French toast and then we're going to put it in the oven. We have our oven set to 350 degrees. If we were making smaller muffins, the recipe calls for 25 to 30 minutes. But since I'm using a larger one, we're going to start with the 25 to 30 minutes, but be prepared for it to cook a little longer. Alrighty. And to the ingredients for the streusel topping, it called for a pinch of salt. So I added that before I processed this. And now we're going to prepare our frittatas. Make sure you hit that subscribe button in the bottom right hand of your screen. You don't want to miss what's next. So for our frittatas, we're going to use 8 large eggs, and I already have them cracked and in this bowl with a half a cup of milk. You can use milk, heavy cream, half and half, whatever you choose depending on your dietary taste and needs. So we're going to give this a whisk. And a frittata is just a baked omelet. So you can make this in one big pan or a dish. It's a great way to get some eggs into your diet, vegetables, meats, whatever you decide to put in it. So whatever you would add to your omelet, you can put in your frittata. And if you're like me and you don't like to eat the same thing all of the time, making the mini ones is a great way to give you some variety, because you can make one with just some veggies, one with some meat and cheese. You can switch up the type of cheese you use, your vegetables, or you can make them the way my husband likes it, which is a bunch of meat. Okay, so to my eggs, we're going to add a little salt, some fresh ground black pepper, a little powdered onion, and some smoked paprika, which is one of my favorite seasonings. Now, as I told you guys before, I don't measure a lot of things. So you're going to season to your preference. If you like garlic powder, if you like some chives, some fresh herbs, whatever you like to add, just add it. Okay, so now our eggs are ready. So we're going to prepare our muffin tin by spraying the insides with a little bit of vegetable oil spray. And this keeps them from sticking. So for each one, we're just going to add a variety of different things. So we're going to start off with making them the way my husband would like. So I have some already cooked chopped up bacon. And we're going to add some prepared sausage to his as well. And a little bit of shredded Monterey Jack cheese. Now for myself, I like vegetables. So I have some diced peppers, a little chopped up mushroom. I have some green onions, some regular onions, and some garlic. And I have some diced applewood smoked cheese. And I'm going to add a little bit of sausage. Now for these other ones, we're just going to play around and use some random ingredients. You can use whatever type of cheese you like. There can be shredded cheddar cheese, mozzarella cheese. The only thing I probably wouldn't recommend is blue cheese, but hey, if you like it, give it a shot and let me know how it turns out. And as you can see, I like cheese, so these are going to be really cheesy. And now we're going to take our measuring cup and spoon some of the egg mixture over each of the muffin cups. These mini frittatas are great for breakfast on the go. You can pop these in the microwave and give them to your kids in a little sandwich bag. You can freeze them and thaw them out for use later. And they're also great and they plate well if you want to serve brunch to some friends. And I'm just going to take this spoon and give it a little stir so that we don't just have one clump of the first thing we have in there in each bite. It'll all be mixed up in there together. So I'm just going to clean up the top of my muffin tray so we don't smell burnt egg while it's cooking, and we're going to pop these in the oven for about 25 minutes. We're going to check them at about 20, stick a toothpick in, see if the toothpick comes out clean. If not, we'll let them go for the last 5 minutes. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button in the bottom right hand of the screen. All right, let's pop these in the oven. Every good meal is paired with a great cocktail. So for our brunch cocktail today, we're going to make a bourbon spritzer. Now the recipe that I found called for Aperol liqueur to be added, but I like passion fruit liqueur, so we're going to take a few liberties with the recipe. So we need to fill a wine glass with ice. To that, we're going to add 1.5 parts of Maker's Mark bourbon, 1 part passion fruit liqueur, we're going to do a splash of lemon juice, and a little dash of orange bitters. Going to give that a little stir. To that, we're going to add a slice of orange peel. And then we're going to top it off with some Prosecco. Just going to give that a little stir. The recipe also calls for a little dash of simple syrup, but because the passion fruit liqueur is sweet, we're going to give it a taste first and see if we need it. Not at all. This is delicious. Cheers. Okay guys, so we're ready to eat. Our French toast muffins cooked for about 30 minutes and they were good to go. And then for the frittata, it cooked for 25 minutes. And to make sure that it was ready, I stuck a toothpick inside and made sure that it came out clean. And by clean, I mean no egg mixture. So if you're a baker and you're used to sticking a toothpick inside of your cake to make sure that no cake batter comes out on it, it would be the same thing for the frittata. And I want you to know that the eggs do rise and then they fall. So don't feel like you are deflated like the frittata. They should look like this when they're all done. So you have to let the French toast muffins sit for 5 minutes before you take them out of the pan. And I would recommend doing about 2 to 3 minutes for the frittata. So this plate that we have here, as you can see, is a meat lover's plate for my husband. But you could serve the French toast muffin with some fruit, some additional breakfast meats, or just a frittata on its own. So it's whatever you decide to do. If you're doing this for a brunch, you could plate these out on a nice tray and let people serve themselves. So just for a little decoration and some added flavor, we're going to top this with a little bit of powdered sugar. And then you could serve it with some maple syrup or honey, or you can just eat it plain, however you choose to have it. But we're going to use some maple syrup. So we're just going to drizzle it over there, or if you'd like, if you're serving this as a brunch, you can put out a little container like a gravy boat with some warm maple syrup in it and let your guests serve themselves. So we're just going to drizzle a little bit over the top. And for the frittata, I like to put a little bit of chunky salsa on top of my frittatas, but I know people like hot sauce or ketchup, but we flavored everything well, so if you want, you can just have it as it is. And we have our cocktail ready to go, so we're ready to eat. One thing I do recommend is that you make the cocktail once you're ready to serve. Otherwise, you're going to be sipping on it because this is delicious and you don't want to burn your food because you got a little bit tipsy while you're preparing. So cheers, let's give it a try. That's delicious. The streusel topping added just a little bit of buttery crunch to the top of the French toast muffins. The salsa is adding a little bit of kick to my frittatas. Now it's time to eat. Make sure you subscribe by clicking that button on the right-hand side of your screen. And I hope to see you back next time. Have a great day, everyone. Cheers.